Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Holistic Cat Care Live Q&A with me, Pam Roussel with Perfectly Holistic. So all of you guys out on Instagram, I want to welcome you. And if you are watching from Facebook or YouTube, welcome to our monthly Q&A question night. So I'm just here to support you guys and answer questions that you might have about how to implement holistic approaches with your cats. So if you are watching live, definitely drop a comment over here. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to say hi to all of you. And start thinking about what questions you have that maybe we can cover tonight. So, how's everybody's week? I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. If you are in the United States celebrating Thanksgiving, I hope you had a wonderful time doing whatever it is you were doing. Um, it was nice. I took 4 days off and it was great. But you know how like you can take time off, but then you kind of feel antsy because you feel like you should be doing something? That was me. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, especially when you're a small business owner, it's like everything is pretty much up to you. Even though I have an amazing team that helps out a lot, I don't think I could do it without them for sure. So, want to say hi to Spence Marcel in Seattle and Delph Blue up in Vancouver. And where are you guys over here on Instagram watching from? Let me know. Um, it's kind of cool to have a worldwide audience, I think. So, we recorded here just a little update. The Pet Health Junkies, which I'm a member of this podcast, we recorded another really cool interview yesterday with Dr. Chris Besant, and we talked about herbs, using herbs with cats. It was really cool. And it'll be published soon, but really interesting tidbit, little tip, just kind of file this away. If you have a young kitten, I'd say like, within under 8 months of age or so, or even a small puppy under a year, she highly recommends adding a really high quality source of omega-3 fatty acids because it's loaded with EPA and DHA, which is essential fatty acids that kittens and puppies, all people and pets really need this, okay? But especially when they're younger, because when they're babies, their brains are still developing, okay? And the omega-3 oils, which especially things like your krill, your fish-based kind of omega-3 oils, they really have an affinity for fat because they come from fatty sources. They are a fat source. Hello, essential fatty acids. So, and what is our brain made up of? It's mostly fat. So it really helps the development of brains. So be sure next time you have a kitten or a puppy that you start implementing an omega-3 source like immediately, day one. Don't even think about it. Just start doing it. And if you want to do like a food source, you can add sardines and water. That would be a great little food source, or you can just add an omega-3 oil or supplement of some kind. So I just thought that was really cool because I'd never really thought about that before. But when you think about it, it makes sense because we want to support their bodies as they're growing and developing. And the brain, man, if they can have really, really, really great nutrition when they're babies, you're going to really have some. Well, I'll say it like this. You know how some pets are just like, on the lights are all home, It's like sometimes I had a cat years ago. Her name was Kiwi, God bless her. And she just wasn't all that bright. And then I've had other cats that are super, super smart. You can probably relate if you've had multiple cats or dogs in your life. So, I just wonder, I was like, maybe she really didn't have enough essential fatty acids in her diet, for good brain health and all of that goes with it. It could have been genetics or a combination of both, but I'm just going to keep that in mind next time I have kittens because it certainly can't hurt. So I love supporting our babies, especially with food or, really good nutritional supplements like omega-3 fatty acids. So yes. Oh, and Def Blue says she was in, she went to see me out in Seattle. That is so very cool. That's right. You did mention to me that you were going to be going. I hope you had a fabulous time. I know my friends Jane, Adrian were there and they had a blast. That is awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so let's see. Where can we start today, guys? Do you have questions? Because I am here for you. So whatever questions you have, and if I don't know the answer, we can get back to you. How's that? So anyway, yeah, where should we start? I'll just be right here. Y'all let me know what you got a question on. Okay. Spence says question. Question. Yes, please drop a question. Drop your question in. I would love to answer a question. Let's see how many we can get through today. Again, if you're watching from on Instagram, you're welcome to drop a question in the comments here as well. I am going to be checking all three platforms, so would love to see what we can do for you. Okay, Spence says my over 15-year-old female cat, very active, very healthy. Okay, ... We're waiting for the rest of the question. For the last few weeks has had diarrhea. Okay. Well, that's no fun for sure, especially for her. I would ask, does your cat go outside or inside? And number two, have you had any diet changes? Or has she eaten, well, if she's had it for a few weeks, then there's probably, it's definitely a gut health issue, but does she go outside and is it possible she could have parasites? And if so, maybe do a fecal test and find out if that is the case, because when you've had diarrhea for that kind of length of time, she's indoor all her life. Okay. You tried pumpkin. She won't eat that. Okay. Well, here's another thing. I like to kind of give you multiple potential things to think about. So it could be food related. She's never had parasites in the past. She's an indoor cat. Okay. So it could be food sensitivity of some kind. So my next question is what is she eating? What type of food? Is it dry? Is it wet? Is it raw? What type of proteins is she eating a lot? Do you mix? Do you rotate all those? So that would be something to think about. And then I also want to ask about how was the emotional energy in your home over the last few weeks? Because the large intestines can be affected by root chakra blocks. So if there's something contributing to her not feeling safe, something like that, it can affect bowel movements. So something to think about. Okay, she eats Viva Raw and Hills Dry. Okay, yay on the Viva Raw, but I'm questioning if you're feeding such a great raw diet, why the Hills Dry? That's like my first question. He says emotional energy has been stressed, and it began with giving her a new Ziwi Dry that I stopped when diarrhea began. Okay, then it's okay. I love that you're doing the raw. I'm not a fan of dry food for cats because it's really not a species appropriate diet for them. It's loaded with carbs. And oftentimes the dry food, even in high quality, they use legumes and chickpeas and lentils and things like that as the source of starch in the dry food to make it stick together and go through the extruders and make it all little, the little cute shapes or pellets or whatever. So that itself can be a major problem long term. So it can certainly affect the GI absorption in the bowels, in the gut. Jay, you're cracking me up. I'll get to your question in a second. But you could try taking her off the dry food and see if wet food and the raw food together kind of help resolve that, just taking away the starches. The other thing that you could try is S. boulardii and see how that goes. Um, but it's, and then emotions. If she is under a lot of stress, what can you do to calm the environment, to make her feel safe, to make her feel happy? It can be things like color therapy. Red supports the root chakra, which affects the large intestine. So maybe the color red would help, maybe green, maybe purple if she's real nervous or stressed. That can help too. There's also, think about how she's reacting in the environment. Is she acting afraid? Is she hiding a lot? Is she skittish? Those are the kinds of questions I would need to know more about. But I would love to see how that goes. Okay, Spence says, what was the recommendation? It's called S. boulardii. It's Saccharomyces boulardii, and I'm going to put it in the comments here for you. Hold on. Saccharomyces boulardii. It's also known as S. boulardii because Saccharomyces is a really long word. So you could try Saccharomyces boulardii and see if that helps, because that is commonly indicated for like diarrhea that just won't, you have trouble getting rid of. So you could look at that. And they typically come in capsules, and they're for humans, okay? Unless you're getting them from Animal Biome, which I carry in our shop. They do have an S. boulardii plus FOS product, and that's formulated in terms of dosage for pets. So you could look at that. S. boulardii. Okay, I'm not seeing it in the chat. I just wrote it right above here, Saccharomyces boulardii. It's boulardii. S. You can just do S. boulardii, boulardii. Okay, perfect. You got it. Spence says, only kept the dry from years ago practice, but can remove that. Generally, she loves the raw. I add supplements from the two crazy cat ladies who are here watching, by the way. Good for you. And probiotics, enzymes, a couple of others from their store. Fantastic. Yeah, I would try removing the dry, and I'd try the S. boulardii and see if that helps rebalance that gut flora that may be causing that. And then try to evaluate the environment as little stress as possible for her. You just have to kind of look at the whole picture. That's what a holistic approach is. It's looking at the whole picture, not just zeroing in on one little symptom, but we kind of step back and take a 40,000-foot view and look at when things started, what was going on at the time, what are they eating, what were they doing, how are they emotionally, are there changes, what kind of stressors are going on in the environment. So it's all those kinds of things. When you look at holistically, you get a broader view, and then it helps you kind of zero in on what could potentially be causing the problem. So yeah, okay, let's go to Jay's question. I think my pet squirrel has ocular herpes and getting bumps all over her eye, just one eye. It happened after she had a very stressful event in her life. Do you have a homeopathic remedy for this? Yes, absolutely, I do. Yes, if it's there's a remedy called, which one is it? Is it for ulcers? There's ulcers. I want to say it's Cantharis. I think it's Cantharis. Now, typically, let's pretend it's a cat for a second. Herpes infections. Oh, there's I'm trying to think of the remedy that would, if it's an ulcer, it might be like red ulcer. That would be more like causticum, I think, or Cantharis. I'd have to you know me, I have to muscle test everything, but that's what I would probably look at. So I hope that helps your squirrel. And that's a private joke between us. Okay, so sending you and Adrian a big hug. So let's see here. So Heather says, what is a good way to introduce raw food to my girls? Luna, Lily, and Daisy. Oh, that's so precious. Raw food. Okay. If you can go to a local independent pet store, I love supporting local independents when we can, and buy a small bag of this, like a smallest bag of whatever they sell that's raw, and defrost like a medallion or, a quarter cup of, if they're frozen little nuggets or something, and just defrost that in your fridge and literally take a half a teaspoon or a quarter teaspoon and mix it into their wet food that they're eating, and slowly over days, maybe a week, you'll as they adjust to the taste, if they like the taste and they want to, as long as their stools are good and no issues come up, you just keep adding, maybe every couple days, a little bit more of the new and take a little less out of the old, until you've transitioned them all the way over to the raw food. Now, the other thing you can do, either as an alternative or at the same time, is to just put like a quarter of a teaspoon of that raw next to their food that they're used to eating, so they get used to the smell, they get used to its presence, because we're having to teach them that this is food, right? So we just have to accustom them to that. Okay, this is what you're getting at mealtime while you're eating this other food. And eventually they will go sniff it. They might lick it. Eventually they'll kind of figure it out, like, oh my gosh, this is good. If you do it kind of on the side thing. So try that and see how that works. And you can also crumble some freeze-dried toppers on the new food in case you are using just the raw by itself. Just if they have a favorite freeze-dried topper, then you can just crumble that onto the mixture of the food, and that whatever helps them eat better is what I go for. So bribery, it's kind of like bribery, but I think bribery is a good thing when it comes to transitioning to different foods. So we have to help them, we have to convince them that this is going to be good for them. Jay says, is it Rust Talks? Rust Talks? No, I wouldn't do Rust Talks for that. But after the show, I will muscle test for you. How's that? Okay. And I'll definitely help you. Lori says, hello, everyone. And Spence says, Betsy says, Rust Talks can be used to treat herpes infection. Oh, that's cool. That's, it's something you can always muscle test for it and see if that would help. It's all based on symptoms, so maybe that would. So anyway, yeah, we can test that for sure and see how that goes. Thank you, Betsy, for that great little tidbit. Guys, really and truly, there's thousands of remedies, homeopathic remedies, and obviously there are hundreds of symptoms and conditions and all of that. So trying to keep it all straight, remember every detail, kind of hard. So I don't even try to memorize everything. I just go look it up. So Spence says, do you like using Cosequin chews for cats? Cosequin, I've heard I've had clients that have used that before, and I think they're probably fine. I haven't looked at them in a really long time, to be honest, so I don't know what else is in it. But there are so many great products out there that are great for joint and hip support, especially for senior cats, like yours is. So as long as it's clean, like I would need to look at the ingredient label to see what's in it, to see if anything is like standing out as a no-no. And if not, and if it's working, then yeah, I would certainly be open to use it. Again, I'm just going to plug muscle testing. If you guys know how to muscle test, you can muscle test your cat's supplements to figure out if they're benefiting and how well they're benefiting compared to other products so that you can find one that is like the very best of the best of the best. So that's what I love to do, just to make sure that you're getting your money's worth and what you're using is actually meeting your expectations and working and providing a benefit. So that's what I like to do. Learn to muscle test. I have a workshop in my store that will teach you the basics and introduction of muscle testing if you want to try it. There's, but again, there's so many great products that are by really, really good companies. And off the top of my head, Sound Viscosity or Sound Kitty by Herbsmith is one that comes to mind. And then Ripcord by Vengeance is another really good one. And then there's Boz Curcuma by Animal Essentials. You can add things like turmeric or curcumin to the diet that are super anti-inflammatory. So there's just so many good things. Omega-3s are also really good if you want to incorporate that into the diet to help, the joints and all of that good stuff. But yeah, look for something that has herbs like MSM, chondroitin. There's another one that's really common. Hyaluronic acid is really good. Omega-3s, maybe some frankincense, curcumin or turmeric, things like that. Those would be really good. Sound Kitty. Yeah, if you go to the shop.perfectlyholistic.com under supplements, look under mobility, and you'll see Sound Kitty. And then Vengeance is the brand, and Ripcord, just like if you were parachuting, Ripcord. It's great it's an anti-inflammatory kind of product. It helps systemically. So if your cat has things like IBD or any inflammatory disease, it would be awesome for that, as well as joint support and things like that. Spence says, I have hyaluronic acid. What amount would you recommend? And should I wait with the diarrhea? Here's the thing. I like using a synergistic product that has more than one thing in it for this kind of issue or support. So I would choose more than just hyaluronic acid. And I don't know what the recommended dosage is for that kind of a product because I don't know the product, the brand and all of that kind of stuff. And so I would keep doing the Cosequin until you can investigate the ingredients and get the diarrhea under control. And, because it's a lot to have on your plate. So when you feel comfortable exploring other things, then you can go look at, changing out the other supplements if you have to. And Bonnie's here. Hey girl, how are you? So good to see you here. Okay, let me see. Okay, Scarlett says, I currently use Pretty Litter because of the fact that it can let me know immediately if there's something wrong with the cats, at least in theory, but I'm not fond of how dusty it gets. But I like the idea behind that kind of litter. Can you recommend a different kind, though? I think you meant to say kind. Yes. Actually, I like the wood base that's been shaved. That's real soft on their feet. I'm not a fan of the pretty. I like the concept behind Pretty Litter, but again, I'm kind of like you. I'm not real fan of the silica that they use in that. So I tend. Right now, I'm using Catalyst. My cats like it. It does track a little bit. It's a little bit dusty, but it's not terrible. It's really not terrible at all. And then I've also used Next Gen Pet Litter, and it's also wood. It's a type of it's Hinoki wood. That's what it is. That one's Hinoki wood. So, and Oko Cat is a great brand. So yeah, I like anything that's natural that doesn't have the chemicals added in it, that doesn't have the added scents to it and things like that. Um, that's what you really want to look at. You want it to be as natural as possible with no toxicity at all. So, yeah, that's what I would try if you're looking to change. Um, let's see over here. And Bonnie Bell says the Smart Cat Box litter box system is great. It uses birdseed litter. Oh my goodness, I have never heard of birdseed litter. No dust or chemicals. The pee goes into a box so you can see how much they're going and the color, or if it's cloudy or sandy. Oh, that's pretty cool. Um, that's pretty cool. I haven't seen that one yet. Very nice to know. See, all of you have so much to contribute. You just don't even realize it. Duff says she's using the pink box OcoCat and she likes that the pink is flushable. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I haven't looked at those. I haven't used OcoCat in quite a few years. It's like once you find something that your cats like and it's pretty clean and it's not dusty and yeah, it tracks a little bit, but there's no, in my honest opinion, I don't think there is a total dust-free litter anywhere. There's always going to be some element of dust to some level. So the brand she calls it the Smart Cat Box litter box system. So if you just look up Smart Cat Box litter, you'll probably find it online. She wants to know where you buy it, Bonnie. Can you drop that into the comments and I'll tell her? Oh, Jay says Zorro hears my voice and is yelling for me. Zorro, will you give him a big kiss for me? He's the man of the house over there. He's so sweet. You're Zen boy. Okay, let me go back up here and just make sure that I did not miss anybody. I hate when I miss people or miss questions because it's not on purpose, guys, I assure you. Make sure I see. Oh, Barb says Squirrel is doing awesome. I am so happy to hear that. That's awesome. So I guess her head shaking has either stopped or like really reduced. Like, oh, please let that be. That would be awesome. Let's see. Make sure I did not miss. I'm scrolling back up, guys. Okay. Okay, so Bonnie also recommends the Sweet Scoop. Is that okay? Yeah, Sweet Scoop. It's wheat, right? Wheat based. I think that's what it is. Let me know where you buy that, Bonnie, so I can let her know. Make sure I didn't miss any questions over here. Nope. Okay, we're good. So does anybody over here on Instagram have any questions about holistic cat care? Anything you guys are struggling with your kitties? Tips on anything? How are they doing? How are you guys? You know what? It's almost 19 days until Christmas. How is your stress levels, guys? It's let me come back over here for a second. Who asked about where to buy? Was it Delph Blue? Okay, yes. Okay, she gets it at smartcatbox.com. Just go smartcatbox.com. That's where you can get it. And Sweet Scoop is in pet stores. Okay. So I was just going to say monitor your emotional stress levels this holiday because Christmas is around the corner and people get a little stressed out at Christmas time. So just be mindful that our energy affects our pets and it's all about sharing the same space. So it's a quantum physics principle where it's quantum coherence. Our energy fields cross over each other's and so therefore we affect each other in our homes, in our environment, and things like that. So if you're feeling super, super stressed right now, or as we get closer to the Christmas and New Year's holiday, then I'll read that in a second. As we get closer to the holidays, this just can be ramped up. So just be mindful of that and pay attention to your cats. Okay. And if they need a little time away, have their own quiet space by themselves, do, lights off, cubby holes, um, quiet music, calming music, maybe some calming herb gardens on the floor, things like that we can put out to help calm them. And then play sessions, very good for expending energy. Sorry, Adrian. Jay said, you said 19 days to Christmas, and Adrian said, I'm going to puke on you. Thanks a lot. And Jay says, we also have a podcast with Dr. Barry Sands next Wednesday on how to reduce holiday stress. Yes, I have one the next week, I believe. So yeah, we're going to support these cat parents and these kitty cats throughout the holidays, because stress is an issue. It's, whether we realize it or not, it's all about the energy. So we can do this. We can make everything calm and get through the holidays without stressing them out and having, digestive upsets and behavior issues and unwanted behaviors. Let's put it like that. There's just so much. So, okay. So Bonnie says, going to England for 2 weeks. Do you recommend doing an energy check with them when I'm gone? I'll be in England for Christmas, so I'm really happy. Oh, that's fantastic. Who is going to watch them? That's what I would want to know, because what you may want to do, and I'm not trying to talk you out of this, but do an animal communication session before you leave and let them know what's going on. Just inform them that you're going to be out of town for a little bit and who's going to take care of them and how often they're going to be coming in, so that they understand you're not just abandoning them. They'll be cared for, and maybe you could do some FaceTime calls or whatever while you're gone, or get check-ins with your sitter. But I think that would almost be more powerful than doing an energy healing session, unless they're really stressed. Like if they are not liking their caregiver, if they are, acting weird and hiding a lot, that would indicate that, an energy healing session would be in order. But if they're not, then I think maybe just do an animal communication session before you, a few days before you leave, just to prepare them and let them know when you're coming back. I think that's super important. And that's so cool that you're going to England. She goes, I want to give them support while I'm gone. Absolutely. Superhumanity says, I don't have a cat, but I volunteer at animal shelter where I deal with cats often. Your advice about a holistic approach has been helpful. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. There's so much more on our YouTube channel. Jay, Adrian, and I, and Julianne Thorne, and Dr. Katie Woodley did many roundtables on different topics. So you can take a lot of that information from those videos that we've done in the past, just to learn some more that you can implement at the shelter. So I highly commend that. That's awesome. Okay. So Bonnie says, I have a great cat sitter, and she did a session with Karen. They said they like her, even Prince. That's awesome. That's great. No, I think that's good. You may just want to check in and just do a little check-in before you go, and just go, hey guys, just remember I'm going to be leaving, and your favorite cat sitter is coming over. So, but you can always reach out if something goes awry. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Jay says, I'm just hoping to help my pet squirrel and her poor eye during the holiday season. Yeah. I wonder if some of that is stress. Could be. Wouldn't surprise me if some of that was stress, but we'll figure it out for sure. Okay. Okay. Love says panleukemia and fleas, ? My cat apparently had a flea, and it caused him to be treated medically because of the panleuk. Can you help me understand? I really want to build a catio, but not at his expense. Okay, let me have some clarification. So he's fully recovered from Panluke? Is that what happened? Um, Obviously he's not sick still with Panluke. Is that correct? I just want to make sure I understand. Um, some cats are super sensitive to flea bites and flea saliva and flea toxins. So, okay, cool. So he's fully recovered. Okay, that's good. So are work on ways to strengthen his immune system. When you may already be doing this, but species appropriate diet, really good supplements like Vira X, just it's a since he's had this deadly virus, I don't know, maybe some maintenance just to help boost his immune system. Medicinal mushrooms would be awesome for supporting his immune system. Healing his gut lining. Um, Things like that can sealing and healing the gut lining. So my favorite is Ion, Intelligence of Nature, gut support for pets, and some kind of product like Thorn Vet has a gut health formula that's awesome for soothing inflammation in the gut lining and healing that whole area. Very similar to Feline Gut Soothe by Adored Beast. So those would be two really good options. You just want to keep them as healthy as possible and strengthen his immune system so that if he does get exposed to a flea bite, his body doesn't totally go out of control. Now there are several homeopathic remedies that you could look at for addressing flea sensitivity. There's actually a list of them. She says apparently he was found in a bush and covered with fleas as a kitten. Oh, bless his heart. So he was already weakened at the time and then bitten to death almost. Let me see if I can pull up flea bites, flea support. There's several. Hang on. Let me see if I can find fleas. Okay. For a cat who is sensitive to flea bites, I'm going to just name some of these off, okay? Zumalka has a product called Ticks and Fleas. And then there's some homeopathic remedies. Antimonium is one, ledum, soranum, hypericum, sulfur, and Staphysagrea. If you need to, go rewind this and listen to those names again. But those can help with if they get flea bites and they're reacting to them. Hydrated bentonite clay can help bind excess histamine that's being released. And you can also use something like bioplasma, which is, I want to say there's one by Boron, which is kind of homeopathic. Double dose of ion gut support. You can use quercetin. It's kind of like or quercetin with bromelain. It's kind of like they call it nature's Benadryl. So the idea here is to reduce the histamine response or the allergic reaction response to the bites. So hopefully that will give you some ideas. A catio is not necessarily a bad idea if your environment is on if it's going to be on a concrete slab and there's not, grasses around and fleas in the yard, then it's probably fine. Contrary to what a lot of people think, fleas are not just haphazardly everywhere when you go outside. Like I have a backyard here. My cats go in the backyard. They don't get fleas because there's no fleas out there. They don't jump on me, they don't jump on them. So just because your cat goes outside doesn't mean it's going to get fleas. There has to be fleas in the environment first. So if the environment is not, prevalent with fleas and there's not dogs running around, then there's probably no risk there for him to even get bitten. There has to be fleas in order to get bitten. So that is, I love the idea. Now, you could build a catio, depending on how you want to have it built, where it's not sitting on the ground. Maybe it's elevated out a window. You know what I mean? So he wouldn't be even in contact with the ground to be in contact with fleas. So you just have to use your imagination and think creatively if you want to build a catio with no exposure to him getting the fleas, then you just have to raise it. It has to be up off the ground. So think about doing something like that, because I love the fact that we can let them outside and get fresh air and hear all the birds and the crickets and see all the bugs flying around. I mean, it's so entertaining for them. They love this. So yeah, I would just use your imagination, build a catio, but make it so that it would be, the least contact to the earth for him as possible. There's definitely ways to do it for sure. And Lori says bioplasma may be Highlands. Yeah, it might be Highlands. You're probably right. There's like a couple different brands that I've seen. Highlands I think is one of them. Yeah, okay, so Love is here you go. On Instagram, there is a channel of a guy, I think it's the Catio guy. Look up Catio guy. I think he's on Facebook too, guys. He shares and posts like houses that he's building catios for. I'm talking, these are incredible catios, like mind blowing on what they come up with. So go over there and go over to his channel, Catio guy, and look at all of his designs, and it will give you so many ideas. You'll be so inspired. Oh, she says to follow him on YouTube. Yes. Go look and see what he does, and that will give you some inspiration. Yeah. Okay, cool. Jasper needs his dental. He said his ear fungal infection is coming from his mouth. I got Teeth for Life, and I'm using chamomile tea. Awesome. I also use Zymox with HC. Hello, help me out on that. Hydrochloric. I don't know what that is. 1%. Any other recommendations for dental? Will he let you brush his teeth with the teeth also? Because Teeth for Life is an awesome product. It's really, really good. So brushing teeth would be great if he lets you. Actually can do Gunner's teeth now. I don't even have to wrap him up. It's just a thing we do. So it helps. Now I don't get the inside, but I get, the outside and all that. So it's better than nothing. And his teeth are looking better. So yeah, see if he'll let you do that. Zymox is the ear thing, right? I just want to make sure I understand your question. His ear fungal, is it for ear fungal? Is that what you want to know? Recommendations. So any other recommendations? Question mark. For teeth or for ears? That's what I need to know. And you know what? I just wonder because, he's had the fungal, he's had the candida in the ears before, and it was related to food. So whatever he's eating, take him off of it for 3 months and switch it. The protein, it's probably something in the something he's eating may be contributing to that. Love is the same here with the dental. The teeth is good, and the dental wipes. Yeah, you just got to be creative. You got to be creative. So, she said yes. So both. Okay. So yeah, my recommendation would be to consider changing the protein because it may be contributing to that issue, the fungal issue, or the more probably a candida thing. And yeah, see if he'll let you either use like the wipe, like a gauze pad, and just wipe the edges of his teeth, or start with that. And if he lets you work into like a finger brush, maybe that. What is Jay? Help me out here. Ryer Cat. Ryer Cat has a cat specific toothbrush that's super tiny head. It's cute as bud. I love mine. I use it all the time. So maybe look at trying the Ryer Cat toothbrush too. You can put the teeth product on it and brush it that way too. You don't have to just put the teeth in the water, or you can actually put it in the food, but you can use it topically too. Jay says, oh, hold on. She says, I use a Q-tip and deer velvet on his teeth too. But you're doing so much. That's awesome. Sometimes they say they need a dental, but maybe it's just loose plaque that they can just pick off. So I would ask about that. Like, how severe is it? Is it something that they can just pick off, or does he really have to go under anesthesia? You know what I'm saying? I like to ask questions. Jay says, we may or may not be contributing to a study on cats with stomatitis soon. First meeting tomorrow. That's awesome. That is so awesome and exciting. I have a few thoughts on what causes that if you are ever interested in talking about it, just based on the clients that I've worked with. Okay. Love is teeth. I put it in the food because I change the water 3 to 4 times a day. Yeah. Yeah. Especially if they're not going to drink the water, all the water. I hate wasting. So I'm with you. I would put it in the food or in a treat, or just apply it directly. Oh dear. So Jaspers, they said it's severe. Yeah. Well, it may not hurt to just go ahead and do a good cleaning and start fresh. And then everything that you're doing proactively now will pay off in dividends. So, yeah. So, sending lots of good wishes on that. So, hopefully not in December, right? Maybe January, because you're going out of town. So, how soon do you have to do it? Okay. Levis says, I'm so sorry I have to leave. Thank you so much for everything. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for hanging out with us. And I know it's almost the top of the hour. We're going to be wrapping things up here in just a minute or so. But does anybody else have any other questions or comments or just thoughts before we close up? Because I have to go help a squirrel. Squirrel with an eye thing. Yeah, you guys, I just hope you have a fantastic Christmas and holiday season. Spend some time loving on your babies. Take some downtime for yourself. It's so important. It's so easy to get overextended, to get overcommitted during the holidays. And if you just feel like if your gut is saying, I really don't want to go to that thing, honor that, honor yourself, and say no. It's okay to say no. And if people don't understand, that's their problem. So just take care of you this holiday season, and take care of your kitties, and appreciate those around you. Send them lots of love. I think it's important just to keep the priorities what they should be. Figure out what's important to you, your family, your close friends. Do something that you love, that you enjoy. Treat yourself, because it's just so many times we just give, and we don't take care of us. So think about that this holiday season, and just know that I appreciate you, and it means the world to me that you are here, and I am so honored to help and share ideas and answer questions and all of that. So Anyway, sending all of you guys so much love and holiday cheer, and give your babies a big hug and a kiss for me. And I can't believe it, but we will see you. We'll see you in a couple. I have a couple radio shows. And you know what? Actually, let's talk about that before we go. Mark your calendars for Monday the 16th, because Dr. Richard Pitcairn, who is the father of homeopathy for pets, is going to be on the radio show with me, and we are going to be talking about vaccinosis, which is chronic illness from vaccines. So you don't want to miss that. Get all of your friends who vaccinate their pets, or who have vaccinated their pets in the past, who have pets with chronic issues, dogs or cats, doesn't matter. You got to listen to the show. It's going to be awesome and mind-blowing. And then on the 18th, Dr. Barry Sands is here. We're going to talk about navigating stress through the holidays. So that's going to be really fun. And then we're going to be off for a little while. So we'll be back for Q&A. And that will be the first Thursday in January. Jay says, holy meow, he's a legend. He is a legend. He's amazing. And the two homeopathic vets that I have actually worked with and learned from were in his first class, veterinary homeopathy class ever. So he is a legend, and he is a very neat guy. Very smart. So very honored to have him join me. And then last of all, there is open enrollment for the Mastering Muscle Testing program. So if you want to learn how to take your muscle testing skills to the next level and do evaluations on your pets, to design protocols, supplement plans, food plans, do energy clearing work, it's all in the program. So it is a self-paced course. If you are interested in learning more about that, if you have a passion for energy work and for energy healing and for just tapping into your intuition and learning how to really use the muscle testing on a whole nother level, let me know. Reach out. We can book a call and I can tell you more about it. So Floppy Cat says, yes, Pitcairn. Yes, he's so cool. I'm so excited. We're jazzed. We are all ready to go. Our show is going to be awesome. So anyway, thank you guys so much. And we will see you not next week, but the week after for a couple shows. And then have a wonderful rest of your week and a happy weekend. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody.